journey. And again, the great thing about a journey is it's just an evolution. Every year you come up with something different to add to it to make it a little bit better, because you get in the role of doing things. And if you're freeing people's minds to create and innovate around culture, you're going to come up with great things, over the course of the year. So, we were sitting in a strategic planning meeting going over our annual objectives, and they're usually all financial. And one of my guys said, "Hey, look, we're into serving. Why don't we do something around social responsibility for one of our objectives?" It's like, everything else we're doing around culture is not traditional. So why not make, one of our 5 annual objectives for the business, a social responsibility objective. So, we all decided that was a good idea. We voted on it because we always come up with 10 or 12 objectives that are vote worthy. And, we all vote on 5, and we pick the 5 that have the most votes. And, and in this case, it received the vote. So, we resolved to figure out what that goal would look like and what the goal would actually be after we left the meeting. And, we did a quick math problem and said, we've got a X number of facilities and X people. And if, would it be too hard to get everybody to volunteer 2 hours, knowing that some will volunteer 0 and some will volunteer 10 or 12? So that's kind of what we ended up with, 100,000 hours of community service. We've been doing that for 5 years. We keep increasing the goal a little bit every year, but it basically boils down to all 100 of our facilities doing, 3 serving opportunities a year. We have 5 philanthropy people on staff that help the plants coordinate with the local charities so that they don't have to drop what they're doing and figure out how to build a relationship with their local, philanthropy and charities, organizations where they can actually do the social, responsibility work. And once our team gets them lined up with somebody, they basically tell all their team members and say, "Hey, look, anybody that can show up, let's do this together. Bring your families, bring your kids. We're gonna, do animals, or we're gonna, clean up parks, or we're gonna help the elderly, or we're gonna go to the Boys and Girls Club or Big Brothers Big Sisters." I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds of organizations. So in my experience when I go out and serve with all of our team members around the business, it's not that they don't want to serve, it's just they never knew how to get started. And, that takes a little bit of courage to walk to a charitable organization and say, "Hey, I want to help." Some people it comes natural for, but I would argue that a lot of people, they wouldn't know where to start. And, so we take care of that part for everybody. And then people just show up with their coworkers, and it's, it takes less courage to do that. But once they get there, they're like, "Okay, when's the next one?" And never talk to somebody that said, "Hey, that was awful, I'm never doing another one." They're thankful that they brought their kids along, and their kids are now serving at an age that, they might be doing their first serving event at 28 or 35. And, they're bringing their kids along at 7, 8, 12, 15 years old, and that's their first one. And they're just getting, again, this business is a force for good. We're building a better society by doing some of these things that only I think the business has the numbers and the power to do.